All right, good morning, everybody. Today we are going to go over mean, median, mode, and range one more time. And also we're going to talk about bar graphs one more time, just to make sure everybody is on the same page and we remember how to do all this, okay? So, I'm actually going to start with mode, because mode, to me, is the simplest, okay? All mode is the number that occurs most often, okay? So if you look at this particular data set, we've got 34, 35, 37, 43, and 43. What number occurs the most in this set of numbers? Well, if you look, 43 happens twice. So the mode for this set of information is 43. Mode just means how many times it happened. It happened the most. Mode most. Okay? All right. The next one we're going to look at real quick. We are going to look at the range. Okay? To find the range in a set of data, all you have to do is you find the largest number. In this case, I went ahead and put them in order for you. It's pretty easy to see. The largest number in this set would be 91. You find the smallest number, okay? In this case, again, I've already put them in order, so the smallest number would be 13, and you're going to subtract, okay? Because what the range tells you is what the distance between the biggest and the smallest number is in your data set, okay? So, of course, when we borrow, regroup, we get that there is a range to this information of 78. So think of it this way. Think of it as, let's say that these were the scores you got on your last math test, okay? I gave a math test. These are the scores I got, okay? Not too terrible, except for this one out here, all right? So this is going to, the range is how much difference there is between the highest score and the lowest score. Well, as a teacher, if I see that there's a range of 78, usually that means there's a problem, okay? Sometimes you will have a great range. If you were talking about the number of snow days that we had, there might be a great range in the number of snow days that we had over the past 100 years if you looked at it year by year. So the range is just simply the largest number, subtract the smallest number, and that tells you the amount of difference there is between them, how many numbers we're looking at, okay? Why do you need to know the range? Well, when you are doing graphing, the range lets you know how to divide things up. So for instance, if I were to graph this information, okay, I would need to make sure that I start at 10 at the very least, because there is a 13 on my chart, and I know that I would have to go up if I was counting by fives, let's say, okay, I would have to go all the way up to 95, okay? So that range just tells us how to graph it as well, okay? All right, sorry, I'm about to knock my thing down. All right. The next one we are going to look at is the median, okay? Just like the median in the middle of the road, the median is going to be the middle number, okay? For instance, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers, so the median would just simply be the very middle number, okay? In this case, the median would be, if you look, the number that's in the middle is 7, okay? Now, sometimes you will have a set of data that is not even. For instance, if I were to use this data set with 4 numbers, okay, do you see that I have them in order? 7, 19, 20, 21. So if I wanted to find the median of these numbers, okay, because there isn't a clear median, a clear number in the middle, because there's an even number of numbers, what I would need to do is I would take the two middle numbers, okay, 19 and 20. I would add them together, okay, 39. And then I would take that 39 and divide it in half, okay? All right, so I would find that my median of this set would be 19 and a half. Okay, makes sense? Okay, all right, now, the one that you should be most familiar with is range, okay? Most of the time, you will hear range called the average, okay? The average. So what we would do is we would add, I'm sorry, not range, sorry, mean. Good Lord, I totally messed y'all up. Get it out of your head, so sorry. Okay, the one we were talking about is mean. Mean you would normally hear of as average. Right now, the mean is going to be the one that takes the most time in my mind, okay? Because you're gonna have to add up all the numbers and divide by how many numbers there are. In this case, there are 4 numbers, okay? So the first thing I would do is add all of these numbers together, okay? And you can either do it in pieces or you could do one big one. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 7 more is 17. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 more is 4, plus 2 more is 6. Okay, so adding them all together, I get 67. And since there are 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, I'm going to divide that by 4. Okay, how many times will 4 go into 6? It'll go 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. How many times will 4 go into 27? Okay. Excuse me. It'll go 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. We're left with a 3. Okay, you can either put that back over the number you're dividing with, okay, or you can turn it into a decimal, okay. In this case, I'm just going to leave it as a fraction because that's fine. So our mean or our average for this set of data is 16 3/4, okay. So you can see that having this lowball number, you see how 19, 20, and 21 all kind of fall the same place, but then you have this one number that's a lot lower, okay? And so that drags your average or your mean way down, okay? This is why we tell you turn everything in, okay? This is why we tell you a 50 is better than a 0, okay? Getting partial credit is better than no credit at all, all right? So this would be your average, okay? All right. So now what I'm going to try to do is I want us to go ahead and practice real quick with all of them, okay? So we're going to forget that these say on the side. That was just for me, so I know what I was talking about at first. All right, so we have figured out the average of this data. The average, or the mean, was 16 3/4. Just figure that out, okay? But I also want to find the mode, the range, and the median, okay? Well, if you remember a moment ago, I actually found the median. What did we do? We found the two middle numbers. We added them together. We divided them in half, and so we ended up with 19 and a half, if you will recall. The range, okay? So again, the range is taking the largest number, subtracting the smallest. So we have 21. We're going to subtract 7. We end up with 14. So the range is 14. There are 14 numbers between the smallest and the largest number. And then the mode, we don't have one. So sometimes in your data, you're going to have no mode, okay? And that is okay, all right? In this case, we don't have a mode. We don't have a number that occurs most often, all right? Okay, let's try out the other data sets real quick. Make sure we're understanding. I'm sure you've seen this a couple of times. Okay, I'm going to use the data set that I originally started with for range. Okay, so we're going to forget that we're finding range this time. All right, so like I said, I always like to start with the easiest. To me, easiest is mode, okay? Do we have a mode for this one? We don't. there is no number that occurs more often, so there is no mode on this one, okay? The range, okay? What is the range? Well, 91 is the largest, 13 is the smallest, and in this case, I have put them all in order. In a moment, I'm going to give you a set of data that's not in order to try out, okay? All right, we will subtract. Boop, 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 boop.
8.
Sorry. Okay, so the range is 78, which I should have remembered because we just did that a minute ago. Okay. All right, the median. What number is in the middle? Well, let's count and see how many we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. Okay, so we're going to have to pick the two middle numbers, which are 79 plus 81. Okay, I'm going to add those together. Okay. And then I'm going to divide them by 2 because I added two numbers together. And when I divide them by 2, I find that I have an 80. So the median would be 80. Even though it's not on our list, that still can be the median, okay? All right, and then the last one, the mean, is where you add all of the numbers together, okay? You can either add them in pieces, like 2 at a time or 3 at a time, okay? I'm going to do 3 at a time, just to show you what I mean, okay? So 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 9 more is 18, okay? 7 plus 7 is 14, 15, 16, okay? 8 plus 1 plus, 1 plus 7 plus 1 is 9, 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 9 more is 25, okay? Add those two pieces together, okay? So, all together, I have 427. How many numbers did I add up? I added up 3 and 3, which is 6. So I'm going to divide by 6. How many times will 6 go into 42? 7. 7 times 6 is 42. How many times will 6 go into 7? 1 time, with 1 left over. So 71 and 1 6 is your answer. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this data set. See what we end up with. All right. All right. Okay. Again, first one I start with is mode. We do have a mode this time. The mode is 7. Okay. We have 2 7s and only 1 of everything else. Okay, the range, okay, well, our largest number is 21, our smallest is 4. If we subtract, we get 17. Okay, so the range is 17. Okay, our median, our middle numbers. Well, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So if we count to the middle, it's a 7. There are 3 above and 3 below. Do you see that? So 7 would be our median. And then mean, we just add them all together. Okay. Okay, so 4 and 6 is 10, 7 and 7 is 14, 9 and 15 is 24, and then 21. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of adding little bits at a time to make it a little easier. And that makes it a little bit easier for me to add. So 4 plus 1 more is 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 2 more is 4. Plus 2 more is 6. Okay. So I've got a 69, and I am dividing it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. How many times will 7 go into 69? Well, it'll go 9 times. 9 times 7 is 63. I'm left with a 6. So I'm just going to put that over the 7. So my mean is 9 and 6/7, okay? And I'm going to look at this information. Does that make sense? It kind of does, okay? You've got some larger numbers, you've got some smaller numbers, and 9 and 6/7 falls kind of in the middle of that, okay? All right. We're going to do one more example with the data sets, and then I'm going to have you try out a problem, pause it, and then check your answers, okay? All right, so here's one more data set. Again, we're going to forget that we already did that one. All right, so in this case, like I said, mode doesn't have to fall anywhere in particular. In this case, in the last one, it fell right in the middle, but in this one, it falls at the end. So the mode in this case is 43. That's the one that happens the most often, okay? All right, median. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So if we pick the one in the middle, we've got 2 above and 2 below, so 37 would be our median, okay? Our range, we've got 43, okay? We've got 34 is our smallest. When we subtract, we end up with 9. So our range is 9, okay? Generally speaking, for information, for data, that's a really good range. That means that most of our data fell in a very small area, okay? That's kind of what you're looking for when you're, doing tests. So if I were to give a test and the most amount of points you could get was 45, the range of 9 means it's really good. Y'all got really good and close to the 45, right? All right. And then the mean, again, we're going to add all those numbers together. So we've got 34, 35, 37, 43, and 43, okay? I like to go through and just kind of add them 2 by 2 at first. So that would be 69. That's 80, and then 43. Just makes it easier for me. 9 plus 3 is 12. Okay, 8 and 4 is 12, plus 6 more is 18, plus 1 more is 19. So we have 192, and there were 5 numbers. How many times will 5 go into 19? It'll go 3 times. I'm going to erase some of this so it doesn't get in the middle of it. Okay, that's 15. How many times will 5 go into 42? It'll go 8 times with 2 left over, okay? So 38 and 2/5. Does that answer make sense? Well, that's pretty close to our median number, okay? So, and like I said, our range was pretty small, so 38 and 2/5 makes sense, okay? Please make sure if you have any questions, you are asking them, okay? Gotta ask those questions. Okay, so next I'm going to put up a problem and I want you to try it out, okay? So it says, the following data set shows the exam grades of Mr. Scott's 5th grade math test. Find the mean, median, mode, and range. Mean, median, mode, and range. Okay, now, let me point out, unlike my other data sets, this one is not in order. So the very first thing you're gonna need to do is put them in order from smallest to largest, okay? Just looking at this, I could see that 12 would be my smallest number, and it looks like 100 is my largest number, okay? So all those other numbers should fall somewhere in between. Sorry, I got hiccups, guys. All right, so I'm gonna ask you to pause here, go ahead and try to work that out, and then press play again once you have worked out your mean, median, mode, and range to double check your answers. All right, ready? Pause. Okay, so hopefully everybody put your numbers in the right order, okay? So let's see. Actually, I'll move these down a little bit so that I can make little marks. Okay. So 12 is my smallest number.
46.
Thank you, Mary Beth. 46 would be my next one.
56.
56 is my next one. I have taught her well. Okay. All right. Looks like 70s are going to be next. So 72, 76, 78. Okay. Normally I'd be crossing these out, but just in case I need to go back over this again, I'm not crossing them out right now.
89.
Yep, we've got an 89 here. Another 89 here.
90.
We got a 90.
98. And 100.
8. And 100. Ooh, I almost didn't make that list.
Make sure, double check.
All right, so this is what I do. Yes, Meredith's right. I usually count. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yay! Okay.
You should probably write 11 like up in the corner or something, so you remember.
11 total. Okay. All right. I'm gonna erase those marks for now. We don't need them. All right. So since we have 11 total, that means that the sixth number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is going to be right in the middle. Let's double check and make sure that we have 5 numbers above and 5 numbers below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do, so that means that we have found our median, which is 78. Okay. Next, go for the next easiest, mode, most. Remember, the mode in this case is going to be 89. We've got 2 of them, right? Okay, the range, if you will recall, that's taking the largest number and subtracting the smallest. So 100 minus 12 would give us an 88.
A pretty big range.
It is a very large range, okay?
Very big.
As a teacher, if these were my test scores, I'd probably really have to look at that and be like, what's going on? We do have one that's really, really low, but we've also got a couple more that are pretty low. So I'd probably give a retest on these. Anybody who would like a retest? All right. Oops. I erased a couple of
Don't
my
erase
numbers.
them.
Yeah, do not erase your numbers. All right. So
Last one.
last one is our mean. And yes, I know it's a pain in the patootie to try to add up all these numbers. So what I usually try to do is I try to group them. Okay. And what I mean is this. I see that I have a 12 here and a 98 here. So a 98 and a 12 would give me 110, right? Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else that groups kind of easily? Not as much. So then I will, I'm probably going to do 90 with, I'm going to probably do the 90 and the 89 together because that one's pretty easy. Okay. I'll go ahead and put 189. Okay, and do you see how I am like kind of crossing them off without scratching them out just to know which ones I've already used? Okay. I'm going to put this 72 and this 78 together. Okay, so that would be, right?
Yeah.
150. Okay, and then let's see, we'll just add a couple together. So 56 and 46 together would give me 112.
And then I think 76
Yep. And
is
then
the last one.
76 kind of just drops in by itself. Okay. So I have made it smaller. Number of things to add together. Honestly, you can do it however you want. If you wanted to add them in groups of 3, if you want to add them in groups of 2, whatever you want to do, okay? Just make sure you've used all your numbers and you've added everything properly, okay? Breaking things down into smaller pieces, always a good strategy. All right, so 9 and 9 and 2 gives me 20, plus 6 more is 26. 7 and 2 and 1 gives me 10, plus 7 more is 17, plus 8 more is 25, plus 5 more is 30, and then 1 more is 31. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we have 816 altogether, and as Mary Beth pointed out, doesn't hurt to write down how many total you have to make it easy. Okay, how many times will 11 go into 81? Well, it'll go 7 times. 7 times 11 is 77. Okay. Okay. How many times will 11 go into 46? It'll go 4 times. 4 times 11 is 44. We're left with 2, so we'll put that back over 11. So our mean is 74 and 2/11. Okay? All right. Now, if there are any questions, please, please, please ask them now. Make sure that you go and you take your quiz on quizzes before 4 o'clock, please. That way I can see what questions y'all have if you're not asking them, and go ahead and make another video for you to see tomorrow morning. All right, guys, have fun. Bye.